TikTok, it's time to rock. So one of the reasons why we're late is because Brad and I are waiting patiently for the rock professor. We're sitting here, we're waiting patiently, waiting, and Brad said, "Where's Simon?" And I'm going, "Oh, I don't know. He's always normally here on time, and then we sort of send him messages, "Where are you?" And then all of a sudden we realise we're not getting any messages back. He's in Spain.
He's burnt us for something better.
Oh, we forgot about that one, didn't we?
More luck to him, More luck to him. No, we did know.
Oh, what did you have to tell them the truth, Brad?
I can't sleep at night being dishonest, Andrew. That's
okay. All right. Okay. Good to see you, bro. Good to see you.
Likewise. Good to be back.
Okay. Well, if we're going to be telling the truth, are we allowed to say two truthful things on the show, or is it still only just one thing per show?
All right, two. Because the cat's away, the mice will play. You can do two.
Okay. Well, the second truthful thing that Brad and I were discussing, I said to him, "Do you know something?" And he goes, "What?" I said, "This could be the shortest show in history." What are we going to talk about for an hour and a half? Because go and listen to this DVD. Go and watch the film. Brad scores. See you later.
I know. It's such an amazing, performance, and but we definitely need to talk about it. I think it's important.
Yeah.
It is a landmark recording. It's one of the last live recordings of Dusty, and and it's just like capturing a bit of magic. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I certainly look forward to sharing a bit of information with you guys, and obviously Brad in the intro. Bro, have you got your? I suppose we should wait for a little bit longer because there's only 6 people in here. Let's wait for a little bit longer before I get you to do the shout out.
Yeah.
Get you to do the shout out. But you've been doing a couple of things over the last couple of days, haven't you? You've been doing something that's dear to your heart, something that makes you tick and keeps you alive.
Yes, that's 100%, Andrew. I've obviously, for people who are familiar with us on the channel here, had a stroke 15 and a half weeks ago now, and it's been a journey to get to this point. But I did my first show with my old band Rewind 80s last night, first one in 15 weeks. So it was a mixed bag of emotions were going on the whole night for me. It was a bit emotional at points, overwhelmed, nervous, lots of things. But, I got there. So got to the end of the gig, and, I've got a good support blanket of people in my corner, including everyone here, So it's been, because obviously – one thing I do say is every kind word that I've received from people, it's just helped me, it's pushed me that little bit more. So, but I finally got to do a gig last night after 15 weeks. Yeah.
Awesome. I'm just going to say a quick shout out to Bent because he's going to come back and watch the show tomorrow. But cheers, Bent. Thank you, bro. Come back and watch the show. Oh, look, bro, you know, 15 weeks, gosh, time flies, doesn't it? I remember when, when it happened,
Yeah.
and, you took a bit of time off.
Yeah.
Obviously, a lot of people that are associated to our channel were, concerned for you.
Yeah.
Certainly, Simon and I were. You came back and, you took things slowly,
Yeah.
but I do remember, and I'm sure you won't mind me sharing this with people watching. I do remember having chats with Brad, and and he was saying, basically that if there's one thing that Brad has to do, it's play the guitar. I remember you telling me that, and
Yeah. 100%.
and you've done it, mate. You've got back. You got yourself gig fit in 15 weeks. Remarkable, bro.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Look, it's been a journey for sure. Having to rewire my brain to send signals to my hands to do what they used to do. So, like, there's still got a long way to go. I'm not completely back to, in my eyes, where I was as a player, but um, you know, I'm proud of myself for getting back up on stage and pulling these songs off the way that they need to be pulled off at this point. So, yeah, I did a fantastic job last night, all things considered, and yeah, it's been a journey, and it was great to play with the guys last night, just to get up and perform and do. As a musician, we're born to perform, we're born to play our instrument, and to just get that privilege to go and do it again, it filled me with gratitude. Let's just say that I could go and do it again, and a new sense of gratitude for what I can do.
Well, yeah, it's like I say, it's humbling, and it's I just like a lot of us, I suppose, are just blown away by your progress. There's a nice comment there from your mum. So she's saying that you're okay, and obviously mum's prayers for sons, you can't discount that. Those, they're always going to get heard, those ones. So but yeah, look, all credit to you, bro, and your family and your friends and everybody that's been praying for you and sending you. What do people do now? Sense positive thoughts, and and that all has meaning. It's all symbolic, and symbols mean things. So obviously, we're going to say that it worked.
Well, 100%. I mean, it's the support that I've received from everyone, like I said, including the channel here, the people here involved with the channel,
Yep.
you, Haas, Simon, including all the people in the chat now and the people that watch the show. It's been all the messages I was receiving were overwhelming, and I still haven't got back to everyone, but it's only so many times I can send a message back to people before I get tired, so I apologize. But like when I say that, I say thank you here, and I say thank you in other ways. So, but it does go a long way when you tell people, you're sending them all those positive thoughts and everything like that. It helps you, pushes you, it drives you a little bit more as well. So it's great.
There's a nice comment there from a good friend of ours who we haven't seen in the chat for a while, John ZD351. If I knew you were going to be playing, he would have gone to the gig to cheer you on. So next one, John.
Yeah. Oh, there'll be plenty more. The gigs are starting to pick up for that band in particular. So it was a nice little. It wasn't a little gig. It was a nice little foot back in the door into a big venue and on theatre show. So it was a lot of pressure on me last night, but it was a fun gig too, and the band played fantastically. So
okay, I've got some pics we can whack up, bro, that you might want to talk about. So this is the first one. We've got to put this one up. This is this week's clickbait.
Hey. There he is. And he's
That's
sporting the t-shirt. Thank you, Simon.
yeah.
That's
On the way
clickbait
to Spain.
right there.
He's on the way to Spain wearing that, bro.
Oh, that's how cool is that? I'm traveling to Spain with the rock professor.
So I'm going to font that with clickbait, and I'm going to put that on our social media links, bro.
You have to. That's awesome. Thank you, Simon.
Oh, yeah, it's great, eh? It's great. We
It's
have a bit of
clickbait,
fun
mate.
here.
That'll bring all the girls to the yard.
What? This one here won't.
Oh, look, I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know.
Mate, I've received messages, on Instagram from people that watch us, and we're talking about things and stuff like that, and it's hilarious the clickbait comments that I get. People don't want to make them public on the videos, but they send them. They say, and they get what we're doing with them, and they think it's great. They know exactly.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. No. Yeah. I'm not going to say any more. We're just waiting for your clickbait, Andrew.
Listen. I've replied back, and I'm going to let everybody else know. The rock professor's in Spain for summer, so when English people go to Spain and they go to the beach, the English people do funny things in Spain.
Took me a second to catch on there. Yep.
So wait for those clickbait pics, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. Right. But I always have to qualify it. Always have to, it's our own clickbait, bro. It's our own channel. We don't rely on.
Well, listen, Andrew, you're holding back your one for a reason, because you got to pull the big guns out when you need them, yeah?
Oh, my Lord. Back to work. Okay, right. There's some pics there, bro.
Oh, yeah, that's the venue we played at. It's called the Bunjil place, and it was in Narre Warren here in Victoria, in Melbourne, Victoria. And that's obviously standing behind my amplifier looking out. So that sort of gives you an indication of it's quite a large seated area, and
Wow.
and it's a beautiful venue. So that was my little office for the night, and it's obviously where I stand. That's my view, and obviously my pedals in front of me. I got one wedge because I only deserve one, but I'm just a guitar player, so we only get one wedge. But yeah, no, it's a wonderful sound in there as well. Beautiful venue. Beautiful venue.
Yeah, it does look beautiful.
Yeah, and that's the stage setting. So there's a TV. Obviously, that's a couch that's been dragged in by the keyboard player. He brings all this stuff in, sets it all up. It's all just to set a vibe and a it looks great when you're looking back at the stage. It really kind of looks like they're props, but it looks amazing, yeah. And obviously, over there in the far left is my my Marshall box, and I used my quad box last night because I thought first gig back, I want my tone. So that's
cool.
it. Yeah. Normally at the theatre shows I try and size it down a little bit, but I thought bugger it. That's a photo of myself and my good friend and brother, Zach Zendris. Zach is a wonderful human being and a great friend. He used to play in Rewind 80s with me. So we were a guitar duo. So we were, we'd both play lead guitar parts together. And he's a wonderful gentleman. So he came down last night. He came down last night to be part of the, my first gig back, and bless him, he got up and played 4 songs with us, and it just felt like, we hadn't left the stage together again. It was just wonderful to share the stage with him. And, you know, we did Living on a Prayer, and we played the guitar solo together, and it's like in unison, and it's just great. It's fun playing with someone like Zach, who's, you know, he pushes me to be a better player. I'll put it that way, you know.
Yeah.
And he is the gentleman who put me on to was at Tone Revival. So he helped me with my gear immensely. And I even mentioned it to him last night. I still, to this day, I'm chasing his tone because was has done an amazing job on his JCM 800. It's got to be the best JCM 800 I've ever heard. Yeah, it's amazing. But he's a wonderful
good there, bro.
Hey,
you're looking good there.
Oh, I'm trying, mate. I'm trying to do my best, brother. So that's at sound check. We were sharing stories, and Zach brought a new Charvel. He's got that Charvel just recently, and so it's wonderful guitar. It let me play it, so thank you, Zach. It's got a single coil in the neck and a bridge humbucker, and it sounded fantastic. And you know, I went to the neck pickup and started playing some Hendrix stuff, and he goes, "Oh, that pickup's you," and I went, "Yeah, that's it," because he wants to change the pickup, and hopefully maybe I've influenced him to keep it in there because it sounded beautiful.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because when I saw that, I thought, I haven't seen that guitar in Brad's collection.
Yeah, well,
yes.
Maybe, you know, a few more gigs up my belt, maybe another year or so. Maybe I'll go shout myself that exact guitar because it's beautiful.
Wow.
So nice to play. The neck's really nice. And it's a super Strat. Yeah, it's a beautiful guitar. Yeah, it's so light. Yeah, wonderful guitar. That's just me pulling a stupid face. Oh, yeah. The selfies, we always do that. You got to take one somewhere, don't you? The guitar duo, Zach and Brad. So, yeah.
Big smiles, mate.
Yeah, we're doing the rock and roll thing. You got to take a selfie. You got to take one, you know. And that's the other boys in the band. That was really hard. I wanted to get a group shot of the whole band. It's near impossible with that many people, though. Mm-hmm. So obviously there's Jay, Sammy, and Dallas that's not in that photo. But I thought, well, you know, the four of us there, better than nothing. So I'll take a selfie, and that's Matty, the keyboard player, Timor, the bass player, and my good buddy Nico on drums. And Nick plays drums in Appetite for Destruction as well, my Guns N' Roses tribute. So
awesome.
Yeah, that was fun. So that's the rig that I ran last night. A BC Rich over in the corner there, the Mockingbird. It got a bit of a rest last night. I only got pulled out once. Mm-hmm. But the Les Paul is predominantly my main guitar for the majority of what I play. I've got the push-pull pot thing, so I can go single coil, like coil tapped or humbucking, and it gets me through most of the tones I need. It's fantastic. Yeah, great rig, and it looks sexy, yeah.
Yeah, well, you know, Les Pauls and Marshalls, you know, you can't go wrong.
They just go hand in hand, don't they? Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
just have a look at some of the comments, bro, that we missed while we're... So I wish I had a picture of myself like that. Stud. Now, which stud are you referring to?
Yeah, I think he's talking about the rock.
The rock professor. Oh, okay.
100%. 100%. Yeah.
Crappy Luxuries here.
Yeah. Hey, Crappy.
Awesome.
John, I just saw John put a message up. It's a Henrik Dan Haig signature guitar. Yeah, that's what it is. I couldn't remember what it was. Yeah, it's fantastic. Beautiful guitar. Beautiful guitar. Zach's done a few mods to it, a couple of mods on the electrics and that, but a really beautiful guitar to play.
Awesome.
If I can get my hands on one.
You want to do a shout out, bro?
Yeah, I'll do a shout out to everyone in the chat. I'll pull the chat up here. So we've got John ZD351. Thank you for joining us, brother. We haven't seen you for a while, but we haven't forgotten about you. We will catch up soon, no doubt. Gretch Zeppelin, thank you for joining us. Crappy Luxury. We've got Ellen Toll, my mother. We have got Johnny Heartbreaker. Thank you for joining us. Arvin. We have Bent Tom was here before, so thanks for joining us, Bent. And we look forward to catching up with you soon. We had Derek Clacton in the chat. Hopefully you can come back and watch this later, but we'll give you a shout out. Gary Hubbs, thank you for joining us. And at the moment, that's all lurking in there. There's more people lurking, but that's all the people that's putting comments up at the moment, Andrew. So we've got a few lurkers, but feel free to say hello to us if you're lurking in the chats there. We won't bite hard.
No, we won't. And later on during the show, I've got some video footage that Brad's shared. So we'll get an opportunity. We'll play that. So the good thing about you guys here being in the chat, if you watch this footage, at least you get to see it, because later on when YouTube do their thing with this show, if it gets copyrighted or something with the channel, we can just delete that out, or just edit the sounds, so at least that the video can still go up on the channel. So depending, because you just don't know, bro. Some of the music publishers allow you to play. That's fine. Yeah, but some, as you know, will block. So, and we don't want to go on here, hang out with you guys for maybe an hour and a half, and it not get seen.
Exactly.
I don't know anything about this guitar, this Henrik Danhage. Is it Danhage or Dan?
Danhage, yeah. I was just reading in the comment under that. The cool sounding thing I don't like is the pickup switching. I agree, but Zach's made a few mods to that. He moved he's moved something around with the pickup switch with the volume, because the volume was right down the bottom. So he's put a three-way switch down the bottom, and he's put a volume up a bit higher. So he didn't like that either, John. But that's the beauty of a Super Strat. You can do whatever you like to them once you get them, yeah. But I was thinking about building a Super Strat still. Maybe I will, I don't know. But if I'm not going to, that's the sort of thing I would buy. That's the sort of thing I'd buy and then modify it to make it like my baby. That's all. Because the wonderful thing, like, in the full vein of Eddie Van Halen, he used to just do that. He'd get a guitar and make it his own and do the modifications the way he wanted. So, why not? That's what all guitarists should be doing, yeah. I mean, you can get a guitar and pick it up and leave it because that's perfect for you, but the Super Strats are built for a reason, to be modified. That's all. So why not?
Okay. Do you mind, bro, if I'm going to share that? Can we, while we're here, we got a bit of time. The rock professor's not here. He's not going to growl us if we go off and do some naughty things. Hold on. Are we gonna? There it is. There. This is this guitar. I don't know anything about this guitar, bro.
Yeah.
So there it is. There.
Yep.
Okay. So let me.
Henrik Danhage.
So who is this Henrik Danhage for a start?
Well, I wasn't too aware of him until I looked him up on Instagram, and he's a fantastic guitar player.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's an artist for Charvel.
Yeah.
And that's the guitar he wanted. He wanted a very relicked up Super Strat with a reverse headstock, which is my thing. I love the reverse headstock that's him there. In that little clip. So if you ever going to go and check that out, guys, it's a beautiful guitar. There's something about relicked up guitars that, if they're done well, they got a vibe, yeah? Like they just feel like they're played in. And this one that Zach had really felt played in. The neck felt really sweet and nice, and the lacquer was off the neck, you know what I mean? So it's sort of more maple, and it's more timber, and it felt really nice. The neck shape was nice, really quite, for people like myself who don't have massive hands, it's fantastic.
Do you mind if I play the video?
I'd go for it. I have no problem with it.
Hello, my name is Henrik Danhage, and this is my signature Charvel guitar. I got my first guitar when I was 9, but it hurted my fingers so much, so I asked my dad to cut off the strings. And for the next 2 years, I was in front of the mirror, pretending that I was Ace Frehley. And probably some of the best guitar playing I ever did was during those 2 years. And then we put back on the strings and the real work began. Sitting here, almost 40 years later, with my old signature guitar, is kind of mind-boggling. I was 5, 6, and my grandfather got me the first Kiss Alive album. I just looked at it. I loved it. I chose it myself, as a matter of fact. Of course, it was the best album ever. Ace is and has always been a super huge influence. After that, I got interested in more of Steve Vai, Eddie Van Halen, Yngwie, the whole Shrapnel guys, and some of the Swedish guitar players as well. Always like a high energy guitar has really made me feel special in my heart. And I realized that I'm not gonna spend all the time learning their stuff. So I started coming up with my own little tricks and stuff instead. It took a little longer, but it made me find my own voice in the guitar, which now I'm very happy for. The first time I got in contact with Charvel was the Guitar World magazine. I thought it was in the mid-80s, and it was a fantastic ad with a bunch of cool people. It was Vinnie Vincent, Jakey Lee, of course Steve Vai, and a bunch of other guys. And they were standing there with their super cool own customized guitars, badass clothing, big hairs. It just woke something in me, and I still to this day have this as one of my biggest inspirations. So all this time spent reading magazines, watching back covers on albums, seeing all these amazing different guitars. I started to dream about my own guitar, and I always loved the 22 frets. I want a bolt-on neck. It has a maple 22 jumbo frets. It has a special reinforced thing, so keep the neck very stable. As a matter of fact, the guitar butler has not been in here once and messed with this, and we've been all over the world with this guitar. Yeah, it has the 12 to 16 compass radius, that is to get that classic Charvel feel that you all love. I love a combo of Seymour Duncan and DiMarzio pickups, and I have the JB down here in the bridge, and Area 67 up here in the neck, and it can give me everything. It has the push, down is for the JB Seymour Duncan pickup, and my push, so I have it up, is for the DiMarzio 67. And yeah, it's very easy, full on. You just control the nuances with the volume. After being out playing, out on the road, traveling pretty much all over the world with my guitar, came up that this is the perfect thing for me. I can do the most brutal things, super clean, beautiful stuff, atmospheric, soundscapes, whatever you want. But when it comes to guitar playing, I just love to sit and play, just noodling around. I don't think there's no rules. You can do whatever you want. As long as you think it sounds good, feels good in you, just do it twice and you will convince everybody else that it is.
Wow, bro.
Mm.
Wow.
And the neck on it is unbelievable for that sort of playing. It really makes you want to play like that. And the jumbo frets are beautiful. So, the push-pull pots would be a nightmare for me because I'm a switch guy. I flick a switch while I'm playing,
Yeah.
So that would be a nightmare for me. I'd change that out. But I said to Zach, who's got that guitar, I said I'd probably put a middle pickup in it too because I love the middle tone.
Is that his number one guitar?
He's got a Les Paul, which is his number one, a custom black one, and he bought that one this year, I think. So he played it last night. He only brought that to play because Floyd Rose can do all the Ed Van Halen stuff, and super Strat. It's a beautiful guitar, So that's what I would say. Something like that would be, I'd either model I'd build one similar to that, or I'd just buy that and modify it.
Well, thank you for sharing that information with me. You, Zach, and also John, because never heard of that guitar player. Didn't know anything about him.
No, I think Zach sent me last year a picture of the guitar, and I checked it out, and I was like, oh wow, because with my Hendrix Strat, it's got the reverse headstock, and I love that look here. So I gravitated to that guitar for that reason. And then I love Charvel necks. I love the way they feel. And 22 fret. So I said to him, I said, what scale neck is this? It feels fantastic. It's just, you feel like you can play for days on it, is what I'm getting at. So, yeah.
You know what I'm going to do, bro?
What's that?
I'd like to buy one of those cheap, a classic vibe left-hand guitar and use that as my, and then restring it and change the nut around, and have that. I'd love to. I've never played a left-handed guitar strung to do it how Jimmy did it. Have you ever played a left-handed strung for a right-hander?
I've played one. I found it awkward with the volume and tone controls and the switch.
Yeah.
But I've got a friend. His name is Tony Battle. Check him out on Instagram. He plays exactly that. He's a right-handed guy, plays left-handed strats, strung up the other way around. So it's got the Jimmy vibe. And, he looks like Jimi Hendrix. He's got the Jimi Hendrix sort of look going on. And he plays amazingly. He plays Jimi Hendrix so well. So a little bit of a shout out to my friend Tony Battle. He's a lovely guy. So Tony Battle, check him out.
Well, that's why I thought, bro. That's why I thought I'd buy a mid-priced one and do that, because I wouldn't do that with a player or a one of the high-end average Fenders, because you mightn't like it. You might be, but if it was something that was 800 or something like that, you could make that work, eh?
Oh, 100%. For me, I'm in two minds about building a guitar as opposed to buying one and then modifying it, because like most guitarists, you pick up a guitar off the shelf and you start playing it, and if you gravitate to it, you're going to like it. If you don't gravitate to it, you're not going to like it. So you build one, you might not like it. That's what I'm getting at. That's why I don't necessarily go to that mindset of build one. I like to try it. I like to feel it. I like to know it's resonant. Like when I played the Strat, the Super Strat, that one, the Charvel last night, before I even plugged it in, it was acoustically loud. So it's going to be a good guitar. When you play it and it's loud, not plugged in, like it resonates, it's going to be a good guitar. Yeah.
So John's saying it's a pain in the ass. Good for a bit of Jimmy fun, but yeah, kind of gets yeah.
Yeah, I think if you played it very high, it would be different. But because I find it sometimes too awkward playing high. I get sore in here, so I like to play it midway down, with a Strat especially, and right where my arm rests here is across all the tone and volume controls, and the toggle gets in the way. But Hendrix used to do it, so the king, he's the king in my opinion. So but yeah, you should try it.
Yeah, well, that's the only reason why I would do it, because he did it, and we all love Jimmy. He's
he was
Jimmy.
He was the man.
Did you see the views we got on that Monterey video we did, bro? I'm going to do a bit of show offing here. Am I allowed to do that? Am I allowed to do a bit of show offing?
Andrew, I'm all for boasting, because I think
6,900 views, bro.
I have no words. I'm shocked, and we're obviously doing something that people like. So thank you so much. It's unbelievable. For a humble channel like ours, Andrew, we never expected to get the subscriptions we've got, the views. So thank you so much. It's amazing. That celebration day is 13,000 the last time I looked.
Yeah, it's 13,000. Hey, Digital Guitars, good to see you, bro. Albert King has entered the chat. Oh, well, look, Brad and I spoke about this, ladies and gentlemen, in the green room before we went on air. We were talking about a couple of production things that we do on the channel here, and one of the things that we do is we share, for example, the videos on Led Zeppelin, on the Zoso show especially, on some of these big Facebook groups that have 70,000 members, and on some what you call the old message board groups that are still around. So if you share them, and people are genuinely, if you're going to share something on that kind of forum, people are genuinely going to go and watch them, Brad, and that's clearly what's been happening. So, all credit to my co-hosts, the preparation that you did, especially with that Jimi Hendrix and Monterey, the introduction, and it kind of blew me away. It was 7,000 views, and it's like, we're just guys talking about music, bro.
I know, and we're just having fun, and it's great that people are checking us out like that. We couldn't be more grateful. We're lost for words. Lost for words.
Yeah, well, yeah. But we kind of knew, didn't we? I'm just, the rock professor's not here, so we can talk about anything we want.
Yeah.
But we kind of knew, though, didn't we? So we're going to let you guys into a little bit about how we run our channel here. So when Brad and I and the rock professor decided, we thought, maybe if we did something, we realized the three of us got especially excited when we did Led Zeppelin stuff. I noticed that. I could see Brad's eyes glaze over when I mentioned Led Zeppelin, and I could see steam rising off the rock professor, when we mentioned it. And every time we mentioned Led Zeppelin, he would always say to us, I saw them live in 1975. I saw them live in and I got guitar lessons from John Paul Jones. And it's like, oh, really? Okay. So we kind of realised, didn't we, that Led Zeppelin was pretty important out of a lot of bands we talk about. So we thought, why don't we do a Led Zeppelin show? You said it, bro. You said it. You said if we did that, it would work, and you hit the nail on the head, bro.
Well, I'm not full of great ideas most of the time, but hopefully that's one of them. So. Yeah, but we're very humbled, and we can't thank everyone enough for doing what everyone does for our channel. But for the amount of views we're getting and the amount of people subscribing, thank you so much. We look forward to entertaining you for a lot longer, a lot of years to come. Let's hope.
Yeah. Is Simon going to come back?
Not if it's in Spain. He's getting a suntan and all that, you know.
Well, he might think, oh, those guys are giving me a bit of grief. Yeah.
No, well, you know, we've got to be careful. I don't upset the rock professor because he is the clickbait, you know, so we've got to be careful of that.
He might ditch us for another channel.
No, yeah. I was about to slip up there, but I won't say it. But, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Andrew, it's probably, we wouldn't be doing ourselves or anyone any justice if we didn't say a big shout out to Olivia Newton-John, an Australian icon. So yeah, we rest in peace, Olivia Newton-John. I think it's important that we bring her up. She's not in British Electric Blues or whatever, but you can't love Olivia Newton-John any more than everyone does. You know, she was such a lovable character, and that smile, it was infectious. So, rest in peace, Olivia.
I watched Grease on Thursday night.
Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned that. So I'm an oldie. I'm an oldie, and I remember when the Grease album came out, and we were away on camp, and back then roller skating was the big thing, and we just used to roller skate around in this hall listening to that album on non-stop. And what a great movie. John Travolta. Oh, great. Yeah.
It just, I've seen it that many times from a kid to, all the way through. I mean, who didn't have a schoolboy crush on Olivia Newton-John? Let's be honest. So,
I got chills.
God bless. And John ZD351, yes, Judith Durham as well. She passed away. And,
another Aussie queen.
Yes. And I was shocked to find out that Anne Hesh died as well. So rest in peace, Anne Hesh, actress, had a car accident and was taken off life support. So, rest in peace, Anne Hesh. I remember that movie she was in with Harrison Ford, and I thought that was great. So, yeah, that's sad news. But I especially with Olivia Newton-John, I think it was very important to talk about that one. So, rest in peace, Olivia. We did a bit of a tribute for her last night at the gig. So, if anyone's interested, they can go check out. There's a little bit of footage on Reborn 80's Instagram page.
Awesome. Thank you for that, bro. Well said. Well done. Olivia Newton-John, an icon here in New Zealand too, Australia, New Zealand, we were brought up on her as well. Some of those songs that she did, and then she went on and, had a career in the 80s. Your mum's got this awesome comment. She even took you guys to go and see Xanadu.
Yeah. I won't say much about the quality of the movie because
that's not Grease. It's not Grease, is it?
It's not a great movie though. But she such an amazing voice and an amazing singer and an amazing icon. Had struggled and has done so much for women in general with breast cancer and her charity and things like that. So there you go.
Yeah, my mum passed away because of breast cancer too. So it's
So she's done a lot for women in general. So well done, Olivia.
And and that Anne Hesh.
Yeah.
Gosh, her story's a tragic story too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
rest in peace, everybody. You know,
Yeah.
thank you, bro. Thank you for mentioning that, because you know, and Judith Durham. You know, when we were a young boy singing those songs, their version of Puff the Magic Dragon, still the best version.
Yeah.
Love
100%.
that song.
Yeah.
The New Seekers. Wow.
Yes.
And you know what? And she looks so good. You know, right through her career.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's very sad, but yeah. So at least they're not forgotten, and rest in peace.
Awesome, bro. Okay, we'll kick off this really quick show, ladies and gentlemen. And if the real part of the show, Brad and I and the Rock Professor, we've made reference to this video a few times on a couple of other shows, and Brad will attest to this. It's one of those documentaries on Netflix that you have to go and watch, and if you don't have an account with Netflix, it's certainly a good time for you to go and just get one for the month, just to go and watch this. I think it's also available. You can stream it on Apple TV as well, Brad. So it's available, and you can also buy it on Blu-ray and DVD. So I've said it before, it's mandatory. Do you want to offer some comments about the DVD, bro, yourself?
100%. Well, obviously, the Raw album that's just been released is obviously the last final album with Dusty Hill who playing live. So I know there's recorded stuff still yet to come out, but it was the live album was a spin-off from the documentary that was on Netflix, The Little Old Band from Texas.
Yep.
And it catches the band, the trio, the original lineup playing in what's quoted as the oldest continual run dance hall in Texas. So the album was conceived from this particular intimate and raw performance. There's a quote here from Frank Beard and Billy Gibbons, and I'll just quickly read that. It just says, "It was a very real way to return to our roots," said Billy Gibbons and Frank Beard in a joint statement. Just as the music, no audience, just us and the music, no audience of thousands, no concession stands, no parking lot social hour, just us and the music. We knew right then it was a very special circumstance, all of us in the same place at the same time, and what a time most certainly was. Also it's written here, it was as bare bones as when we first started touring in a behemoth Chrysler station wagon, driving vast stretches between those early far-flung shows under black and Texas skies, and first hearing our records on the radio. We were bonded as brothers. The dust may have left the building, but it's still very much with us. So there we go.
Yeah, I agree, and I think if you guys remember, if you've been with us when we've done some of these CZ Top films, Brad and I said, wouldn't it be great? I remember having a conversation, because they've got all these little snips of them playing, as Brad just explained to you, in this old dance hall. And we get snips of it, and you see the amps, the Megatrons. Not Mega. What am I thinking of? It'll come to me.
Yeah.
Anyway, and you see them sitting down and you're playing. I remember, you and I saying, wouldn't it be great if we got if they packaged that, not thinking that we were going to get it, and we got it.
Yeah, well, we got it as a package. And I think, maybe that, God rest his soul, Dusty Hill, maybe if he didn't pass away, they might not have released it, because it is pretty raw. It's not polished. It's them in a rehearsal space, warts and all, and they've just released it. So it's amazing. I loved it. I have to say, I love hearing this sort of recording, Andrew. It's exciting for me to hear a band rehearsing and getting their stuff tight without the audience like giving them their energy back. So they're focused on just being tight and getting the song right and the arrangement right. Yeah, that's it. Magnetone. I was thinking
Magnetone.
Arvin, thank you.
Thank you, Arvin. Yeah, the
Yeah.
Magnetones.
But
Yeah, look, I agree with you, Brad. Every song is a classic. Nothing is past Eliminator too. You guys have to remember that. So a lot of the songs that we're going to talk about, we've discussed before anyway. But I think Brad's hit the nail on the head. This is a modern classic. Mark our words, mark my words. This is exactly everything that rock and roll is and should be. It's got that bite, it's got that crunch that a lot of the early stuff had. But you can clearly get that modern bottom end coming through, Brad, which just excites us even more because we didn't quite get that earlier on, bro. You know, so you're getting that bottom end coming through. Mate, it's. I'm saying this sincerely. I think it's going to be probably in my top 3 recordings for the year. This.
Yeah, I would say so for mine as well. And it's a mandatory to listen to through a decent sound system because you do capture a lot of that bottom end that Andrew's referring to, the resonance from the drums and the bass as well. It's very important that you hear it that way. But I'm a big fan of ZZ Top, all eras of ZZ Top. They're one of my top 10, top 5, maybe even bands of all time. And, I love all the eras, but the first 3 or 4 albums of ZZ Top are almost some of the best albums ever recorded, in my opinion. And it's great to hear them playing a lot of the material off this, which there's one right towards the end. It was a surprise for me to hear them playing it. I was like, wow, they're playing this song. So when we get to it, we'll discuss that. But,
Yeah, I agree. I think how the Rolling Stones during their middle period started hitting that golden age with Beggars Banquet, and then you had 5 albums after that, Brad, which became all instant classics. You're right with ZZ Top. Those first 4 or 5 albums that they had, especially. Now I have to qualify that, especially if you are a guitar player.
Oh yeah. Because there was something, and I bring it up in some of my rankings of the songs, there's something infectious about Billy Gibbons, right? He plays a Strat, he plays a Les Paul, a Telly, doesn't matter what he's playing, he sounds the same. He can play a Strat, he sounds the same. Like a lot of players, when they go from a Les Paul to a Strat, their style changes a fair bit, Andrew, but not Billy Gibbons. He plays the same way on a Strat, on a Les Paul, on a Telly, on whatever he's playing. It doesn't matter. So, and he has that growl in his tone. It's something quite unique. And, as much as people say, it's not in the hands, it's the gear and stuff like that, I tend to think it's a lot of it with Billy. It is the hands. Yeah. It's the hands. It's the way he plays. So.
Look, and I'm going to back Brad up because, in that Fleetwood Mac tribute that they did a couple of years ago, he's up there and you can see, and they've got the camera, bro, because it's in such a confined area. They've got the camera right up there, 3 feet away from him, and you can see the thin strings because he's playing that Gretsch, I think. You can see you can see the. And the way that he's playing, it's so gentle, it's so delicate the way that he, and he's effortlessly plucking those strings, strumming those strings.
Yeah.
And this monster tone's coming out, bro.
Yeah. Well, he was an expert at pulling big tones. Well, he is. Sorry, I shouldn't say him as a past tense.
Yeah.
But he pulls big guitar tones, and a lot of it comes down to the way he plays. He's a tone guru, so he knows how to pull good tones. And yeah, there's some interesting rig rundowns. If you haven't seen them, I'm sure you've seen them, Andrew, because I think we've discussed this. But definitely worth watching some of those rig rundowns. And there's a little secret that they did, which is they got him to go out and play on stage his Pearly Gates Les Paul, which is a 58 Les Paul, and go out and play that on a big G chord. You go and stand on the middle of the stage and play G chord, and then they copy that EQ and try and match that EQ with all the guitars. So, not saying that you can match a guitar's tone, which I don't think you can, but it's an interesting thing to listen to. And it's Elwood, who actually is now the bass player. So he's doing a rig rundown on Premier Guitars. There's two of them. There's one tour and then a following tour, and it's definitely worth going and checking out. But I know we're deviating a little bit now, Andrew, but we're still talking about ZZ Top and his hands and the tone. And Billy Gibbons, for me, is one of those guys that he has to be the coolest guy, alive playing guitar, in my opinion. He has to be.
Yeah.
He has to be.
So I couldn't find any information, bro, on whether they're releasing that completely as a DVD, as a DVD or a video. Have you heard, or have you got any information on that?
What's that? The album?
Yeah.
Well, there's probably 4 or 5 of the songs up on their official channel on YouTube.
Yep.
But I think there's only, is it 12 songs that's on the album?
Yeah.
So the 12 songs on the album, so you've got nearly half of them on YouTube. I dare say they will release a Blu-ray and DVD probably, or they'll stream it. Yeah.
Got to.
But the footage
I'm convinced they filmed everything. I'm sure they did.
Oh, 100%. The whole thing's been filmed, yeah.
Okay.
100%, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I couldn't quite find that information.
They wouldn't record the audio without visual these days. If they're set up to record video, they would have recorded everything.
Yeah. You're right. And what a great can we say legacy testament? What a great testament to the memory of Dusty, who passed away. And we've done a show where we've spoken about Dusty and what he means to us as musicians. So again, I suppose rest in peace, Dusty. This is a great legacy, Brad.
Yeah, they were a trio up until that point where Dusty passed away, that no one had ever touched how long the same original lineup had been in together. That was it. They were the hands down the first band that had survived that long with all original members. So, and they were brothers. They so you can imagine, even now they're still, sort of mourning probably Dusty, but in a way, performing with Elwood at Dusty's request is honoring Dusty. And probably, what would they do if they stopped playing? They'd probably be worse off. Yeah, they'd probably feel worse for not performing and continuing Dusty's legacy. So I'm okay with it. I think it's good that they're doing it. I think it's fantastic.
Oh, look,
but this is
I agree, bro.
A little tribute to Dusty, this raw performance, without a doubt.
Yeah, and like I say, folks, if you guys haven't seen the DVD that Brad's, or the documentary, it's an award-winning documentary, well deservedly so. But there's one special little part in there for me that immediately reflects back to Dusty. So, they came back from a tour. I forget when exactly. And Dusty's exhausted and he wants to do something a little bit different. So he grows his beard and he gets a job working as a baggage handler in the airport, because he just wants to go out and hang out with real people, Brad, because he's just sick and tired of the leeches in the music industry, bro.
Yeah. And that, hands down, Dusty was so cool in that documentary. If you haven't watched it, I got Netflix for Little Old Band from Texas. That's it. I did what you said. I subscribed for a month. I watched
Yeah,
it, and I
yeah.
just kept Netflix on. That suckered me in, the bastards. But
There's shit
yeah.
on there
So
anyway. You
you
only get it
haven't
for
seen
one
it?
thing.
I'll be honest with you. I think I'm going to maybe bold statement here. I think Little Old Band from Texas is the best music documentary I've ever seen.
Wow.
Maybe
That
because
could
I'm
be a sh-
biased about Lizzie Top too, but yeah.
That could be a show between the Rock Professor, Andrew, and Brad. Our top 5 music documentaries and why.
I think we should do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We should do it. 100%.
Well, okay. So the first song, bro. Hold on. The first song, obviously, as we said in our intro, they're all classics. Clearly, nothing past Eliminator, which is really, really good. Yeah, so as Brad said, they're digging deep. The first song is Brown Sugar, and we've spoken about this on a couple of other shows. It's a muscular introduction, isn't it, to the album? I think it's probably Brad, bro. It's the perfect. it's a perfect intro to exactly what these guys wanted to do with this documentary. The introduction is just muscular. You got that hiss going on there. You can hear it. Brad's right. I listened with my cans. You can hear the stuff going on. And again, I'm going to be quoting Brad a lot. And Brad said it's because of that he likes it. You can hear all the stuff going on, and it's like you can hear the way that they talk before they lead into the songs. It's just like mates, just as guys do, gives it that extra special charm. Ladies and gentlemen, you won't. I can't surprise you with anything other than a Brad score for Brown Sugar. It's one of my favorite songs.
Yeah.
This is a family show, but something happened to me when I heard this song.
Yes.
Brad score. Brad.
Well, something happened to me too, Andrew, when I first heard this song. Yeah, this first album, ZZ Top's first album, is still one of my favorite ZZ Top albums, and one of my favorite albums for tone. A lot of people go on about the Beano record and whatnot as being the tone for Les Pauls, but this for me is the tone. Yeah, it's got that growl, it's got that something special, and as they explain in the Little Old Band from Texas documentary, they kind of got Billy to double his guitar parts and slightly off tune one of the guitars, so they had a bit of dissonance there. But hearing this on Raw, so it's a very stripped back version. So as the title indicates of the album, it's very raw. It's a rehearsal performance. Starts off with the chatter of the band. You can hear them chattering away. They're obviously boasting and reveling in their 40-year career, and going, the first song of the first album, they're playing first at the rehearsal. It's pretty cool, really, when you think about it that way. And starts off with Billy Gibbons, and there's something very cool and casual and relaxed about his vocal in this performance too. He's just like, my friends all told me, the way he does it, it's just, man, there's something gonna change your life. You can't do it any cooler than that. Yeah. Very laid back guitar playing as well. It's very cool. When the band comes in, like Frank, Dusty, and Billy, it's magical. And it instantly, it just gave me goosebumps listening to it. I was listening to it driving to the gig yesterday again in the car, just to listen to it without worrying about rankings. I just listened to it again, and when this come on and the band kicks in, so wow, man, I was getting goosebumps on my arms as I'm driving. I was looking and whoa, that's amazing. So this has to be one of my favourite ZZ Top songs of all time as well. Billy's vocal in this is raspy and strong, and definitely the highlight for me. It's a 100 out of 10. It's never a skip for me. Andrew.
Look, I got to agree with you with your evaluation on their first album. And again, ladies and gentlemen, folks, I'm sorry to bring it up, but we've got to qualify some breakthroughs that we've made together on previous shows. And I think one of the shows that we discussed, we thought that it was the Beano album. It was the first ZZ Top album, and it was Led Zeppelin 2 that defines that Les Paul, classic Les Paul sound. And I'm not going to... And these other albums you can attach to that. But for me, I think, and Brad, I think we did a show about a year ago, and I think we agreed on that. So...
Yep.
But there is something special about that first album, and again, Brad, we're going to make reference to the documentary. I didn't know that they did that. I did not know that that's how they got that tone on that album, and how they got rid of the manager for him to go and buy some barbecue, because he said he didn't want them to be double tracked.
Yeah.
Yes.
I will say that the first album, Andrew, the tracking on that album, the guitar tracking, is still some of my favorite guitar tracking ever recorded. When you listen to his two guitars, it's beautiful. But I didn't want to cut you off there, Andrew, but I get excited when we talk about ZZ Top's first album.
and it's quite cool too, because when you watch the film, it goes into like this like a little house. It's like and they walk through into the studio, and it's like, it's just phenomenal. I'm thinking ahead. I'm thinking ahead about the show, our top 5 music documentaries, man. I can't wait for that. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I've given away one of mine, so.
Can somebody write that down and make sure that they remind us that that's a show that Brad and I and the Rock Professor are going to do? Just in case we forget.
Just got paid.
Just got paid. Look, the feature for me, clearly, the feature on this are the hi-hats. What's going on with the percussion, the hi-hats, how that comes in. Again, not too much different from the original. It's got the fizz that we love, and it's also got that crisp clearness that we're going to obviously keep reminding you about. But the standout feature for me especially is Frank Beard on this, and he does some great numbers coming up. But the way that Frank controls this song, Brad, especially, again, the way that they've pushed that in, I think, into the second song. Boy, okay, this is not a Brad score. This is only 10 out of 10 for me. But again, I want to make one little point too about a lot of these videos that Brad has mentioned. If you guys haven't seen them, go to the website, and a lot of them, they're just sitting down in these high bar stools, just leaning back. And I have to back up what Brad said too also. Billy is an old man. He's, and I mean that respectfully. But boy, his voice just... I was shocked when I heard this. When I first heard it the first time, listening through my Apple, I'm going, no. There's something. There's something.
Yeah.
No, but no, it's him. It's him. Clearly, it's him. Vocals and the hi hats for me, bro. 10 out of 10. And guess what? Never a skip.
Never a skip.
Brad.
Well, Just Got Paid for me. I've always loved this song. I love the slide playing. So Billy, he even fluffs a little bit of a note at the start, and I'm glad you set the mood for everyone by mentioning that they're sitting on stools and just relaxed and very casually just playing these songs through. He fluffs a bit of a note there and corrects it, and there's no problem there. There's no worries because the boys have got it in the pocket as soon as they start again. It's just sounds so tight. Frank Beard is quite a remarkable drummer, and you watch him, he just looks like he's doing it so easy, and he doesn't look like he's struggling at all, but he plays so well. It's like there's something about his drumming anyway, like you mentioned, Andrew. His hi-hat work, his feel is amazing. Billy's vocals, again, I put here, very strong and raspy again. He's singing fantastically, and as you mentioned, for a mature man, his voice is as bluesy as they get. Is fantastic. This is a very well-oiled machine. You're listening to ZZ Top, a three-piece, and they sound massive. That slide guitar Billy does is sensational. The band's very tight, very, very tight, and they have that wonderful live ending to this song. I love the way they do the live ending to Just Got Paid. It's fantastic. So for me, 10 out of 10, never a skip for me, Andrew.
Awesome, bro. Heard it on the X. Oh baby, baby. Again, the standout feature for me on this song, bro, is Dusty's backing vocals. You start to hear them coming in together a little bit, and it's like, and the reference to 1966, and this is a song off a great album, Fandango, and. It's not a political song. It's about Mexican radio stations and having, being able to have this power to push this rock and roll music. That was, this great music, Texas music, whatever you want to call it, Brad, blues, just out there. And again, smart song choice, Brad. Just a smart song choice. Can I say that they clearly did this for themselves? Am I allowed to say that this? Yeah. But it kind of makes sense though, because when I was going through this the first time, and I thought, okay, they were doing this for themselves. Then I realised, okay, again, this was part of the film. So naturally they were going to go through and go chronologically with the band. So that made kind of sense. So. Are they picking, Brad, this is a question for you, and I don't know what the answer is. Are they picking these songs as favourite songs from these eras of the band, themselves? Is this a favourite song that they're picking, or is it just a song? I don't know. I'd like to think maybe they're favourite songs. But the backing vocals for me, the way that they just, meshes with everything, because it still sounds great. Everything sounds great. I can't talk about the specifically the tones, because it's the same, bro.
Yeah.
Are you guys ready for a shock? Are you guys ready for a shock here? 10 out of 10.
I could have predicted it, but I'm going to say I think the boys would have played the songs they love performing live. I think what it comes down to is you might have a favourite song on the album, but it might not be a favourite of yours to play live, But in a roundabout way, maybe they are their favourite tunes and they're the ones they're playing instead of, they might have a favourite off the album, but it might not go down well live, so they perform the ones that work, yeah. I'll tell you what. They're seasoned, they're mature, They know what works. They know what they're doing. They don't need to prove anything to anyone. They're not after acceptance. They're just playing what they want. That's what I'm going to say, Andrew. They're just going through their catalog, going, "We're doing that one. We're doing that one," and that's it. Yeah. So for me, Hurt on the X, again, a very, very, very raw version of one of my favorite songs from the band. Comes in like a steam train. You mentioned Frank Beard in the last song. Again, Frank Beard, he always surprises me. He looks like he's playing laid back, but when you listen to what he's actually playing, it's a different story. He's all over the place, but he holds it really tight and solid. Yeah, it's a great sound they've got. As you said, Andrew, then they haven't changed their tones or nothing. It's just they're playing with what they've got. You can tell the boys are very warmed up by this stage, and there's some great vocals by Billy and Dusty in this song. And the song's like a freight train; it doesn't stop. 10 out of 10 for me. Never a skip, Andrew. Surprise, surprise.
Oh, okay, ladies and gentlemen, get ready. So we've had the pleasure of ranking Trey Hombres on the channel. One of my favourite shows.
Yeah.
And I promise I'm going to link and attach all the ZZ Top videos we've done on the show cards during this, if you're watching on replay, and I'll attach them on the end if you guys want to go and listen to what Brad and I and the Rock Professor have had to say about ZZ Top. What can you say about the song? I've just got Brad's score. I sent a message to Brad's. Not often am I lost for words, but shit, bro. I don't know what to say. Brad score.
Well, I mean, I'm almost the same, but I feel like it deserves me saying something. So I'm gonna talk about it. For me, I think there's something from the very first note of Lagrange. You know what to expect. Yeah, you're in for a treat. And it's a wonderful version of the song. To hear them play this song after all these years after they released it, you can hear they've taken it a few directions over the years, and they're trying to keep it close to the original. But this one, there's a few little different parts in it and stuff like that. But I mean, what a song! What a song! Billy's vocals, the little start bit, I've always thought it's classic for me. It's you must be around, the way he does it, just fantastic. You can't. I have to say, Billy Gibbons is the coolest, guitar player, the coolest blues man alive, in my opinion. Yeah, it's classic ZZ Top. His solo's a bit laid back. Frank and Dusty are holding it tight. I totally dig this version. It's 100 out of 10 for me. 1,000 out of 10. Never a skip. Never a skip.
Yeah, and I just want to back Brad up. So obviously this came out on their 73 album. So 73, 83, 93, 2003, 13. That's what, 50 years 50 years old, the song when they recorded it?
2000, 2010. Yeah, coming up to, yeah.
Yeah,
it is, yeah.
And as Brad said, look, they haven't reimagined a lot of these songs differently from the originals, which is really, really good. It's as Brad said, they've gone and done other sort of versions over the years, and YouTube's full of a lot of them. But this is a song, Brad, that they play on classic radio here in New Zealand often, and since I was 14 years old, I've heard this song, and it's just, as Brad said, you just know what's going to happen. And again, when you've got your cans on and you're listening to this, it's like, oh, but that modern equipment that they've got coming through, it just it's on fire, bro. Love it.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, it's dangerous territory to say you don't like that song.
Just hold on. I'm just going to get something up. Just give me a second, bro. I'm all over the place here. Give me a second. Okay, so Tush is off. When did that come out? That came out 75, didn't it? Came off. What album did that come off? I'm just trying to find it.
Tres Hombres, isn't it?
Oh, Fandango. From Fandango.
Oh, yes.
And Dusty sings this. This is Dust. This okay, right. Sorry, guys. I'm all over the place. Bit excited. Hey, Paulie Walnuts. Good to see you, brother. Rest in peace. Rest in peace, Dusty. When I first heard this, bro, and the second time, I think I was a little bit, what's the word? I was sad. There's a bit of melancholy there for me because, this guy had passed away. And I just want to reflect a little bit on the role that Dusty has in this film, the way that he's explaining a lot of the histories, the way that he's walking around on his ranch. He's this full of life figure, isn't he? This guy that's just such a crucial element and a part of the band, and to see that's and to hear, Brad, that's not there in this song gave me some moments of sadness.
Yeah.
But what a great song. Again, just like the previous song, this song, we've been brought up on it. I bet you this is one of the songs that you probably learnt to play in your top 3 or 4 songs. It's one that a lot of us have to at least try and attempt to play. It's a classic song, well deserved. Again, it's not reimagined much differently from the original. I love the way that the bass is just coming through on this. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, are you getting bored? I suppose the difference now is he going to just give it a bloody 10 out of 10, or is he going to Brad score it? This is a 10 out of 10, Brad.
Yeah. I'm going to echo a lot of what you said there, Andrew, with Dusty not being, around anymore, listening to this, hearing him singing it. It's a classic, this song. It's great to hear Dusty sing. Wonderful guitar playing from Billy. Always love the way he plays on this, the slide. Driving beat from Frank on the drums, and I don't know what it is, but maybe it's a jukebox song. It used to come on every time I'd be at the pub as a teenager playing pool with the boys. Yeah, so every time I'd go to drink beer, play pool, and muck up and generally be nuisances at the pub, this song would come on, and it reminds me of that time in my life as well. Look, rest in peace, Dusty. For that reason, I'm going to give it 100 out of 10. Never a skip. It's always great to hear Dusty, and he was such an integral part of the sound, and such a big presence in the band. And he's not a big guy. He wasn't a big guy, but he was a big presence in the band. And in Little Old Band of Texas, his little segment when he's showing his Elvis collectabilities and stuff like that. That was one of my favorite parts, is them talking to Dusty. He's great. Yeah. Rest in peace, Dusty. Yeah.
And there's some good advice there from John ZD351, ladies and gentlemen. Some good advice up there.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to be interested to see what my co-host Brad and what you guys in the chat have to say about the next one, because the next one, Thunderbird, The original is a live version of Fandango too. So we've got 2 live versions. I just thought Fandango, just the cover of that album, Brad.
Yeah.
You know, wearing those, that white nudie suit that he's got on. You know, it's like, you know. It's so different from everything else that you're looking at in the 80s, isn't it? You know, you know, so different from Motley Crue, so different from Iron Maiden, or you know, or Duran Duran.
100%. 100%.
And I love the Big F. You know, it's just, I had that poster. Like, and I was talking. I was fortunate enough last night to go and watch a Led Zeppelin tribute band with Carl, and we were talking about this album, and I'll just share something. So he said that this song, he reckons this song is worth the price of this DVD or CD, or you know, of the collection. Look, I'm not going to disagree with them. I love it. I think it's just fantastic. Get high, get high, get high. You know, everybody. Yeah. Again, a little bit like you, bro. You know, it was one of those songs that you used to drink beer to. You know, it was a beer drinking song.
Yeah.
What can we say about the tone, or you know, nothing that we already haven't said.
That's it.
But that, let me get my notes here. Make sure that I'm not okay. Brad, 10 out of 10. Not quite a Brad score.
I love the version of this, and Carl is right. It's fantastic. It's a laid back version compared to the one that's on Fandango. It's great to hear Billy and Dusty singing together.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's it's got such a cool swinging beat from Frank on the drums. What else can I say? You can really tell that while they're playing this song, they're very warmed up in the rehearsal by this stage. They're sounding, you know, down low and dirty. You know, it's a wonderful version of the song. 10 out of 10 for me, nevaaskip. I love the song as well. I love lots of people play it, you know, this song. But I love their version of it. And this one, probably I might favour this one over the Fandango version, Andrew.
Yeah.
Sounds a bit raunchier there, sitting back in the tempo. It sounds fantastic.
100%, brother. 100%, as Brad would say. I loved Fandango, you know, and to hear this is just, you know, and look, it's not often that some bands can sound better 50 years later. You know, 40 years later. You know, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to mean this respectfully, because you guys know how much I love the Rolling Stones. But the Rolling Stones, on all their songs that they're playing now, are they sounding on every song, you know, just as good as that they, you know, were sounding 40 years ago? No. You know, Mick isn't singing anywhere near like he used to. He's rapping now. He's not singing. And Billy is. So, you know, 10 out of 10 for this band being able to do that, bro, to sound better than what they did back in the mid-70s.
I agree. They're just, Billy was on this recording in particular, just sounds like every time he sings it's the same. It's just, you know, whether he did it 30, 40 years ago, he still sounds the same to me. But, you know, it's unbelievable.
Yeah. Okay, so, you know, Brad's spoken about how he used to go down to the pub and get into trouble and get into fights, you know, playing pool and Especially because he was hustling all this money off people, and if they didn't pay when they lost, they'd be. Oh no! I promised I wouldn't tell people that story. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. Okay, all right. Wasn't quite that bad, but I used to have a couple of friends who thought they had reputations. And one of the things that we always used to say when you're growing up is, I'm bad, I'm nationwide. and obviously it was a direct influence to this album. What album did this come off? Is it the one with the skull on it?
No. Oh, you've got me now. I'm gonna search it because
Diaguelo?
yeah, I think so.
Yes.
I'm just looking at, yeah.
You know what? There's just something sometimes, Brad, about a song, and sometimes it only needs to be 30 seconds on a song, and it just captivates you. It just anything else after the song or before the song, it doesn't really matter. And this is one of the reasons why I love doing these shows with my co-hosts, because we get an opportunity to talk about that on some songs. I'm going to tell you, the intro solo on this song is fantastic. It's only a short thing. It's just a modern masterpiece. 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10, bro. And Brad's bad, and he's nationwide.
Oh yeah, I'm bad. I'm nationwide. I'm bad. Yeah, no, you're right. It's off that album. With the skull on it. That's the album it's off, Andrew. So you were on the right path. But yeah. So for me, I'm glad you spoke about the intro. I love the intro. It's one of those songs that as soon as you hear it, you know what song it is, and you got to give it to the boys. You know that they're so tight with that accent. It sounds like a scratch in the record. So if you're not familiar with the song, you think there's a scratch in the record, yeah? But it's not. It's them playing. It's perfect. Look, you can tell they've been playing this song a long time, yeah. Billy sings fantastic on this. He's got a lot of swagger. Some great singing from Dusty as well. Great guitar solo. The overall sound of the band, it's a 3-piece band. You got to remember that, yeah. There's a lot of air and a lot of space between the notes, but they sound massive. Dusty's bass playing in this, those little little runs he does, and you see his little sausage-like fingers playing, like it's amazing, yeah. I love it, and it's a fun version of the song. I always love hearing them. I saw ZZ Top live here in Melbourne, and when they played this song, I felt like grabbing chairs and throwing them just because I was so revved up, yeah. So for that reason, I'm going to give it 10 out of 10. Never a skip for me.
I knew this was going to be a fun show. One of the great things about this package that we're talking about is that there's not a lot of surprises, but boy, we get some surprises on the next couple of songs. Legs, and I've spoken about this song before. I just think, the original song is fantastic. The video, the whole package that was there with everything else. We've spoken about this many times. It was there when we were watching Van Halen, and these guys were in there. And I had friends who with Eliminator, just became fans of this band, and I was lucky to be schooled into this band 4 years earlier through uncles, so to hear this was a shock for me too. But also, I was relishing the fact that I had some friends who were listening to the Cars, for example, getting into this, and we could go and listen to this on road trips, Brad, or at parties. It was a great thing. But to hear this in a stripped-down version with the sequences still there, but they're sort of behind the mix is really, really clever. And you've got that rocking stuff going on. And the surprise for me is just hearing Billy play the solos with no other backup guitars. It's just a phenomenal song, and the next one as well. So I've given a couple of 10s. For me, this song and the next one, no surprises because they're about from that same era. Brad scores what they've done with these two songs, and I'm going to measure them together. I'm going to just take the easy route. What they've done with these two songs is just this is where the absolute revolution has happened in the recordings for me. This is the 10 out of 10. This is the Brad score. This is the buy the CD for these two songs. I love it.
Yeah.
Brad score.
Well, let's be honest, Andrew, as red hot-blooded males, who doesn't like legs? Yeah. So, but I have to say this. I think this version is better than the recorded one. I love it. It's fantastic. Yeah. The recorded version is great, but this one is even better again, in my opinion. Yeah. Billy's singing sounds legendary in this. He's singing so well. It's very stripped back. Obviously, the guitar line is simplified and sounds brilliant. Yeah. The guitar solo from Billy is great. I love, we didn't talk about this in LaGrange, but I love when Billy does those pinch harmonics, and it's just beautiful. He's the king of it. The song Squank, that was probably one of the first songs he started pinching the strings, and he does it his whole career. He's been doing it forever, and God bless you, Billy Gibbons, and don't stop squanking, mate. We love it. And Frank, on the drums, he's just like a beatbox, mate. It's relentless. It doesn't stop. Look, it's such a legendary band. They got such a legendary history, and this song certainly fits into that history, is putting them back on the radios, and the way they perform this song on this raw performance is 1,000 out of 10 for me. It's one of the highlights of the record too, without a doubt.
Yeah, and I've already given my score for the next one. Give me all your love, and again, which was a huge, guys, girls, huge song. That this I think they're both number ones. Well, certainly top 10 songs, and it was, if you went out, it was just being played everywhere, and well deservedly so. I agree with what Brad said too about these. I agree that this version too of "Give Me All Your Lovin'" is better than the original. There's no sequences on this one, just guitars, drums, and the bass. And what can you say? It's everything that a ZZ Top nut wants, Brad, and it's familiar. It's familiar with us. So again, Brad score. Easy.
Yeah, well, for me, it's look, it is a continuation in a sense of legs. It's unbelievable. Yeah, it's a big sound. They got a massive sound. Yeah, that drumming is the intro that Frank does is like signature. Yeah, the way he plays it, it's perfect. The guitar tone's fantastic. Billy's he's singing. By this point, his voice is really warmed up, and it's like liquid. He's singing really beautifully. Yeah, no frills here. It's all raw. The solo is basically the same solo that he plays on the recording. It's brilliant. He's almost playing note for note off the recording. It's remarkable. And Dusty's bass playing, I feel like I'm repeating myself. It's just so solid. And Dusty was, especially while Billy's playing, he used to hold that bottom end down so tight. Billy Gibbons pinch harmonics on the outro solo again. It's his signature thing. Yeah. 100 out of 10, never a skip for me. And I just seen a comment there from John. I always loved the live version of Legs from the live at Texas DVD, 100%.
Yep.
Yeah, that's one we should rank too, Andrew. But it'd probably be like this.
Look, I've got to agree with what Brad. I've got another note here that I made in regards to Gimme or You Love Me. So Frank is on fire here. Go, yeah, and you watch this guy. He's concentrating, bro. This guy is concentrating on his timing. He's a man. How some drummers will like Steven Adler. He's looking around. But this guy here, Frank Beard, he's a man at work. He realizes his role in this band. If he's not doing his job, that the bass player and the guitar player are going to fall over because he's the drummer. It's not like the Rolling Stones where everybody is following the guitar player. This is a traditional band, and Frank Beard is the man. He's the dude. He's the guy that's driving those guys. And to watch Frank on this clip, it's just he's on fire, Brad.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so I get another easy one. We've spoken about this song too, Blue Jean. Oh gosh, Blue Jean.
Blue Jeans Blue.
Yeah, Blue Jeans Blue.
Yeah.
We've spoken about this before. And I'm going to repeat myself again. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but one of the reasons why we love this, and one of the reasons why Billy originally recorded the song is because he was heavily influenced by the British guys. Peter Green, Fleetwood Mac, big influence on Billy and what he was trying to do. And again, we picked that up in the documentary. The rock professor loves talking about contrasts. Highlights and the highs and the troughs. That you get on a recording. Boy, we've had some rockers, 2 rockers, and then we just get we just get something completely wow, don't we, bro? With this one, it's just fantastic. I think I've said in the past, Brad. I think I've put this in one of my top 3 of ZZ Top songs. Phenomenal version. It's a phenomenal version. It's a million Brad scores. This version for me. It's. I can't say any more, bro. Go and listen to it. Bro.
Blue Jeans Blues. I absolutely love this song. Always have. It's a beautiful laid back feel on this one. Big bold statement. Nobody plays a slow blues like ZZ Top. That's it for me. That's that. They got that low end thing going from Dusty. The Frankie's holding it back, and he just keeps it nice and tight. Billy Gibbons, he just drifts across it, playing some lovely licks, but his voice captivates and draws you in when he sings a slow blues. And, songs like this and Rough Boy and all those sort of things, like, for me, I love the way they do the little stops in this version. It just adds that little bit of tension. He doesn't talk about, like a live in Texas, he talks about, you know, how the girl steals his jeans and, you know, and she looks good wearing them and stuff like that. But I'm going to say something here, like Billy sings passionately about his blue jeans, you know, and if we've ever had a nice comfy pair of blue jeans, we totally understand how upset you'd be if your girlfriend stole them from you. So I have to give it like 100 out of 10 for me. And well done, guys. It sounds fantastic, ZZ Top. Wonderful version of it. The Kings are playing slow blues, without a doubt.
Yeah, and you know, guys, and we got heads and tails with Legs and Give Me All Your Lovin', and we get in heads and tails with the next song, Certified Blues. In my opinion, it's off their first album too, Brad. You know, and I think you and I gave this high scores too on the original album, and
Yeah.
again, I'm going to echo a lot of what Brad said. I've just got here. Shit is it? Have you guys got any credibility? You know, are you guys like being critical, or can you guys like, you know, try and be intellectual? No, we're fans. Okay, that's why we give everything high marks. What can I say about this? It's not detracted off the original recording, and Brad's nailed it with that first album. You know, if you go and listen to the first album and go and listen to this album, you will not be surprised. You will not be surprised at all. In fact, that continuity between the two albums, you know, this last recording, and if anything else comes out later with Dusty, well, I'm sure it's going to be of the same kind of quality. But that continuity that you get, Brad, between that and this song, especially for me, it's just like it goes, wow, this is great. You know, I love that. You know, you don't have to go out there and, you know, reinvent the wheel. These guys didn't do that, bro. They didn't need to. They sang what and performed what was inherent to them as musicians. You know, and clearly, you've said it before, you know, they were blues men. It's a blues band. Billy Gibbons is one of the best blues men ever, one of the best blues singers ever, and guitar players. This song's a testament to that. 10 out of 10, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, well, for me, Andrew, I'll echo a lot of what you've said there, but I love the early era of ZZ Top is still my all-time favorite, as I mentioned before. And I was it was a cool surprise for me to see this song on this and to hear them play it this way. I was pleasantly surprised that they played this song, because I can't remember hearing them playing this song for a while. So I love the way the arrangement of the song, the way they've done it. It's obviously a little bit more stripped back without all the extra guitar tracking on it and things like that. But, you know, I could listen to Billy Gibbons's voice all day, every day, and never get sick of his voice. He's got one of those things going on, and I don't know. It's just a certified blues. It's a tricky arrangement to play. You know, if you've ever tried to learn it, it's not it's not a straight blues. There's a lot of changes in it. And I would almost like to say that maybe slightly influenced there by like Zeppelin or something like that in the arrangement, the way they sort of perform this. Yeah. But anyway, for me, it's a great song. It's a 10 out of 10. Never a skip for me. I love the version of it that they did on this. It's fantastic. I'm really glad they gave us that song on this.
And so is Johnny Heartbreaker, because he's saying Billy showcases blues playing on this one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. His guitar playing on it. I feel like a broken record, but he just never seems to amaze me that, you know, the way he plays is just infectious, yeah. His tone, his touch, yeah, it's wonderful.
Oh, I think Johnny might be referring to the song previously that we were talking about. Sorry, yeah, Blue Jean Blues. Yeah. Well, look, we've both agreed they're heads and tails of the same coin, you know. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I agree, Brad. a sleeper song. It was definitely a sleeper song, wasn't it? That they and that's what kind of made me realise when I was listening to it. Oh, this is something that they wanted to do. And then again realised, oh, okay, well, it's part of the documentary. So of course, yeah. One of the great things that we love about the Rock Professor, and when we were doing, I can't remember which ZZ Top album, he mentioned, that this band were very, very clever about the fact that they can use, sexual innuendo and double entendre for meanings, on this song, Tube Snake Boogie, So I'm glad that the that the sense of humour that this band has, and clearly they have a great sense of humour. So much so that they wanted to have a rodeo, a live rodeo.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the film that if you guys haven't seen it, that Brad and I have been talking about, it explains that. So all part of their sense of humour, all part of them wanting to take a show. And Brad, they're Americans. They're American musicians, and it's all about the show, bro, isn't it? We saw it. It goes back all the way back to Elvis Presley. We saw it in the latest Elvis movie, the beginning of rock and roll, the show. It's about the show. And we get it with this band, and we get it with this song. I'm glad that they threw this song in. Look, I'm going to give it a Brad score. It's not a 1,000,000 to 1, but I'm happy giving it a Brad score. It's off, I think, an '81 album called El Loco, and I've always loved the version on El Loco. And again, what can I say about this version here? This interpretation of it, Brad, it's fantastic.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not going to repeat everything you've said, but it's a really raw, tough, greasy intro to this song, the way they play it. And, nobody quite plays like ZZ Top, in my opinion. And some lovely guitar playing from Billy on this. His tone's infectious again. I love the breakdown in the middle of the song where Dusty and Billy sing together. That kind of gave me a bit of goosebumps, actually, and it's very cool. I'm glad, Andrew, you mentioned about the humorous side of this band, and I don't think anyone, or let's put it this way, there's no other band that I can think of that could be taken seriously enough to sing about pearl necklaces and
Tube Snake Boogie.
Yeah, and push and getting away with it like they did. And there was always a little bit of humor in Billy's lyrics and the way that they did their song. So this is a great version of this song, and it just goes to show, a band that sounds amazing with a big production on stage normally and on record can also sound amazing in a small rehearsal space without any crowd interaction. Look, 10 out of 10 for me, never a skip.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned those other songs too, and Gretsch Zeppelin, not so subtle though. It's not the sexual innuendo. Well, it's rock and roll. We know that we're a family show, but we've got to call it for what it is. It's the way that they've done it, it's clever, and it's a good sense of humour, and it's all about some guys having a bit of fun, Brad. And we got that on this video, didn't we? We got it on the production, on the videos. I look forward to watching this as a complete DVD package.
Well, I dare say we'll see a DVD and Blu-ray of this come out at some point. And but if anyone wants to watch any of the footage of it, just go over to YouTube and look up ZZ Top, their official channel, and I think there's 5 or 6 songs up there, which are fantastic. Heard It on the X is awesome to watch, because you're watching Billy Gibbons play that riff right There's so many people try and play it a different way, and then you watch Billy play it, and I'm like, yeah. It's like eye-opening watching Billy play because I'm not going to say he's a simple player, but he's an efficient player. He plays efficient because he's got to sing, he's got to play, he's got to keep that rhythm going while he's singing those words and getting cheeky with his lyrics, and there's so much going on there. But you watch him play, say, heard it on the X, like that riff. I've seen so many people play it all different ways. They're trying to play like Richie Blackmore. They're trying to play it like no. He just plays it like a stretch. It's like two fingers. Yeah. Anyway, you just got to. That's what I love about watching Billy. He just plays effortlessly. Has anyone seen in the chat here, or have you, Andrew, seen that footage of? I don't know if we've discussed this. Billy walks up to a busker and just takes his guitar and starts playing in the middle of the street somewhere. I don't know where it is.
Yeah.
He's just playing some blues. It sounds like Billy Gibbons, yeah?
Yep.
It sounds like Billy's playing, and that's what I mean. He's got that. There's a lot of players that are the same, like Stevie Ray Vaughan. You could have put him on a Fender Squier playing through a PV Rage 108 amplifier. It'd still sound like Stevie Ray Vaughan, yeah? And Billy Gibbons is exactly like that, in my opinion. You could have thrown any guitar, any amp combo at him, and you sound like Billy Gibbons. It's just in his hands, yeah? It's John, that DVD you're referring to, a similar sort of thing happened to me. I saw the shorts to it on it must have been a YouTube ad or something, and I rushed out and just bought it. I didn't even hesitate. I think I've watched that Live in Texas DVD probably 2,050 times. It's ridiculous the amount of times I've watched it. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's just so good watching Billy play, that custom Telecaster that they're playing, and Dusty's got the similar style and his bass, and they've always liked that, haven't they? They've liked having that complementary look, and it just works so well, and the way that they've got that stage choreography that they do, remember, in the 80s, when they had those guitars with sheepskin guitar.
The fluffy guitars, yeah.
The fluff.
They still pulled them out at gigs, Andrew. They still pulled them out and they played them at gigs. They're probably absolute horrible guitars to play live because of sheepskin. But it's all about the look, Andrew. It's not about anything else. But yeah, I love how they and if you watch those rig rundowns on Premier guitars, they would laminate the guitars and bass to look the same, and they did try and have the unison look going on.
And also, I got to just do one more shout out before we end the show to Frank Beard. His rig, he's got a good rig set up there too, bro, hasn't he? He's got his holder there for his can of Coke, and he's right. And he's got his head, he's and he's strapped up, ready to go, because he, again, like we've said a couple of times, he realizes the role that he has. He's just got to keep it driving forward, Brad, and I'm glad, that they decided that they were going to keep the band going, just like the Stones when Charlie passed away. They said, okay, and I respect a band that doesn't want to go ahead. If they decided they were going to fold up, Brad, we would have been happy with that. But they decided, well, we're going to go out there, and Billy and Frank have decided that, well, we'll keep going until one of us dies, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah. Look, I think they made a smart decision because they're at an age where they if they stop, that'd probably be the worst thing for them, because the music keeps them young, keeps them playing, keeps them active. And the minute that they probably stop that, then it's probably going to be, it would do them in probably in the end, unfortunately, because that's what they're born to do. Yeah, they're born to play.
And Johnny's right. Gibbons killed it on the Clapton Crossroads Festival.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely, 100.
Without a doubt, Johnny. That performance was the highlight of that DVD. Yep. I reckon I've watched it that many times. The thing is, they had a persona. They'd come out and they owned it. Whenever they walked out, they didn't even need to play more than 3 notes. They already owned the stage. Yeah, they come out. You watch Billy Gibbons. You watch, Billy, the way he would perform. Like, it's a performance. It's like Buddy Guy. Buddy Guy would come out at 80 years of age and perform, not just play guitar. It was a performance. It was everything you can think of. And Billy is the same thing. He would come out and he does, stage antics. There's similar things he does on stage every night. But, if he's even down to the little corner where his amp is, he's got all his little, ornaments and things like that. It's just very, very cool. And then you go over to Dusty's side of the stage, and Dusty's was, Dusty's corner. Yeah, it was like his little corner. And up the bank, Frank had his drum kit looking like a junkyard heap at one stage, and it was like they just had something. Yeah, it was very cool. And
he does the same thing on that Fleetwood Mac thing too, bro. He just comes out and he kills it. I think you guys call it stage presence. He has it, and he's not a big man, is he? He's not a big fellow.
No, but his presence is huge.
Bro, I've enjoyed listening to this, and I'm thankful that you pushed us to do this. When I think when this came out, I think Brad atted me, or I atted Brad, and Brad said we got to do this. But let's do it next week.
Yeah. Well, it's like I said before, when the cat's away, the mice will play. So Rock Professor was away. And you wanted to still do a show. I said, well, let's just do that as long as, Rock Professor's okay with it. But at some point we had to do this anyway, Andrew. So,
Yeah, I'm glad we did. I know that he'd be pissed off that he couldn't be part of it. But he's probably in Spain now. He said that he will get an opportunity when he's laying on the beach, getting a tan. He'll be watching us and keeping an eye on us. So we do appreciate the fact that he's going to do that. We're going to give a special shout out to him. He may or may not be here with us next week, depending on his internet access. So we haven't quite decided yet, Brad and I, what we're going to do next week. Usual story. If you guys want to find out what we're going to do, check out Brad's Instagram account, and we'll let you guys know. If you follow me, also our community page here, we'll make a post in a couple of days. We won't do anything too heavy if the Rock Professor's going to be away on location. Otherwise, it'll just be the Brad and Andrew show next week.
Well, hopefully we've filled the empty void without that the Rock Professor leaves behind, and everyone has had a fun show. We've had a bit of fun, and we actually did 12 songs then, which is pretty good, considering we started ranking the tracks at about 40 minutes in, so we've done pretty well.
Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. I promised you that we're going to play a couple of videos, so just bear with me. Let's see if this works. Share video. Hold on. This is Brad from last night. This is video 1. sound good. So if you guys are in the chat, you've got to see that live. I will play the second one because we may have to, depending on what happens with YouTube, they may want us to. And this is the second one. Wow, she nailed that note. Your singer, bro, she nailed it.
Yes, Sammy's amazing. Got one of the best voices in at least Melbourne here in Victoria, if not Australia. So, yeah, she's amazing.
You sounded good too, bro. You
Oh,
sounded
thanks.
good.
It's getting there. It's a you know, it's a stepping stone back into the live performing for me, which is something I need to do for who I am as a person. You know, it's a big part of who I am. So, yeah, I need to be out there doing it. So I know if that's the the starting point, maybe in 6 months' time, a year's time, will be even better again. So that's just don't need any more little incidences to happen. No accidents, no nothing. Just settle down, health and fitness, and just
Well, thank you for sharing that with our family and friends on this little corner of the YouTube world, bro. Thank you for that, for sharing that and that journey and that experience, that you've had and that inspirational outlook that you've got, Yeah. Thank you, and I'm sure everyone else is, happy and excited that you're moving ahead. But you sound good, you look good, and that's the main thing.
Thanks, Andrew. Yeah, no, I'm very appreciative for all the comments and everyone, all the support. It's driven me pretty hard to keep going, and I'm not going to stop there. There's still work to do, and next thing will be vocals and really working on them and really honing more on guitar and I won't lie, my right hand was playing up a little bit through the gig, but and my left hand was lagging, felt a bit tired at points, but I'm not gig fit at the moment. That could be one reason.
Yep.
But so if that's the worst I can do, well, let's hope the best I can do is even better.
Wow. All right. Well, look, we won't do a shout out to you guys. You guys know who you all are. We appreciate it. If you guys are watching on a replay and you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do. We'll subscribe back to you. We promise. We're not a channel that solicits subscriptions, and we don't. We always reciprocate. So if you want to support us, we'll support you. If you're a person, man or a woman, that takes our links and shares our links on social media platforms, Brad and I are always humbled and always appreciate the fact that you guys have done that for us. We know a lot of people help us on our channel. We know that. It's not just me. It's not just Brad. It's not just Hoss and the Rock Professor. We know that, a lot of you do that. And thank you. And also thank you for giving Brad the support that that he needs.
Thank you. 100%. And I'll just answer John there quickly. He's put a want a Time to Fly gig. So if anyone's not aware, I did an EP called Time to Fly. I am going to do some gigs, maybe later this year, John, or start of next year, just depending on how I'm feeling, and yeah, we'll sort of feel it out. Maybe by then I'll have something new released as well. So I might be able to do a launch party and do a joint launch between both EP and the new stuff I'm going to release, because I never was able to do a launch party for Time to Fly because it was through lockdown. So, but we'll see. Stay tuned.
Well, I'm sure John will volunteer to be your gig manager. I'm sure he's got the credentials to do all that.
He can carry the marshals too.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're out of here. Look, because we're in a Brad mood, in a Brad moment, we're going to play one of the favourite clips that we've got here on the channel. You guys know what it is. We'll see you next time. God bless.